Greetings, friendos, and welcome back to the Ox Lair. For today's video, normally this would have been one of the Goosebumps reviews, but unfortunately I'm running a little bit behind this week. So, in place of that, I figured I would introduce you all to our new little channel pet, if that wasn't obvious by the title over here. So, as stated, we got a new pet. The way this came about was I was out front of the house earlier today, and I was moving things around, starting to set things up to decorate for this auspicious occasion, Oktoberfest and all, getting all the Halloween decor placed where it needs to go, and I had to take it down a couple pieces of yard furniture. Well, while I was taking down the table, rather when I was taking the legs off of it, because it's one of those collapsible jobs, I found our little friend here. Don't know how well y'all will be able to see it, but right there, that black dot with the little black lines sticking off of it, that is a jumping spider. Honestly, I'm not sure exactly what species or what genotype or whichever it is presently. All I know is that I've been wanting to try and work over getting over my fear of spiders, my arachnophobia, and also I've been wanting to get better about, having my phone muted when I'm getting ready to record, so pardon. There we go, it's on mute. Been wanting to get over that stupid childhood fear that all came about because of a stupid horror movie. Legitimately. Who thought making a film like that? Well, actually, no. The film by itself is not the problem. It was the choice to have myself and my siblings watch it at such a young age. That was such a really horrendously stupid idea. I don't know which of my parents it was, but they done goofed. I'm 33 years old, and I'm still super scared of spiders at times. Granted, that fear has come down a lot over the years, especially all the time I've spent catching spiders in different houses that I've lived in and apartments and stuff over the years. Actually, that's something I think I'm going to add to this video. Editing me, my editing self, feel free to go ahead and right around... oh, no, we'll put it in towards the end of the video. But I've taken photographs of basically every single decent-sized, noteworthy spider that I've had to catch over the last few years. And, through all the time I've spent catching and releasing, for the most part, those arachnids, I've become a bit less terrified of them, as long as they don't actually make physical contact with my skin. Like, if one gets on me, my brain is immediately going, it's gonna bite me, get it off, get it off, get it off. Every single time. Doesn't matter what kind of spider it is. It could be a granddaddy longlegs. It could be just like one of those yellow house spiders. But just especially wolf spiders. If one of those ever got on me physically, like skin to little tiny spider leg contact, I would lose my cool in a major way. But thankfully, so far I have yet to actually have one get on me in that way. So that has yet to be a thing. Anyway, so I have also learned that apparently you can keep jumping spiders as pets. So when I saw this one, which looked relatively healthy, just crawling around on that chair outside, or no, the table, that's what it was, on the table outside, I was like, you are going to make a fantastic candidate for helping me get over my little fear. And so I have brought it into my house after having, of course, found a proper container, well, somewhat proper. The reason why I'm using this particular glass case here, or not glass, plastic case right here, is because in some of the research that I've done leading up to this, I've found that apparently jumping spiders of this variety like to sleep up near the top of their enclosures. So I figured getting a container like this, I could put some dirt and stuff in the bottom, have like a stick in there that I can climb around on, and be able to open this thing up and allow this thing to, to get this thing food and other things that it will need over the course of its life. Well, the course of its life with me, anyway. It's a bit skittish, I don't know if you noticed, but it's like every time I move my other hand, it jumps away from it a little bit. But anyway, as I was stating, I've been... yeah. I got myself off topic there. Anyways, so I want to get over my arachnophobia, and I have found, in doing a little bit of research, that apparently keeping jumping spiders as pets is a good way to get over that particular phobia. And so, this little goober right here is going to be, hopefully, my ticket to getting over my arachnophobia. So now I'm going to carefully set the container down so I don't spook the poor little thing. On that note, I'm going to actually leave this up to you, ladies and gentlemen. What should we name the little thing? I'm not sure if it's a male or a female. I think it's a female because... No, was it the males that had the bigger, like, boxing glove pedipalps, or was it the females? Regardless, what name do you think that this little creature should have? I'm giving you all until the 13th to help me come up with a name for our new little friend here. Now, don't let me down like you did with the Dr. Dreadful stuff, where I had to make you make your decision by making 2 separate videos and putting them up in a way where you had to choose. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you have until the 13th to help me come up with a name for that little fella, or that little lady right there, whichever it is. I'm also going to be trying to do a little bit of research to figure out just what kind of jumper it is. I'm thinking it's a bold jumper, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So I'm just enjoying watching it like creepy crawl around its enclosure. It's like every once in a while it'll catch sight of its reflection and its little front legs will go up like it's getting ready to attack itself. It's quite amusing, I must say. Also, apparently, it's been found out recently, or at least scientists are speculating, that these little arachnids can dream. Like, during the course of COVID, one scientist wound up finding one of these hanging upside down in the field outside of their house, I believe it was. I forget exactly where in the world it was, but I doubt it was the United States. And they actually started doing research because they noticed it wasn't moving, but it wasn't dead. It was still quite alive. And when they put like a high magnifying camera pointed on it, you could see its eyes, the lenses on the inside of its big puppy dog like eyes just like dotting around, almost like REM sleep. So it's a fascinating thing to think about. It's now crawling across the bottom of its little enclosure. Sorry, I'm just keep getting so distracted by this thing. Because it's like when you've been afraid of something for so long, and then you actually stop to like actually watch what they do, especially when it's a thing like, say, a spider, or like, say, a dog or a cat. If you had a dogophobia, whatever that would be, editing self, right here, put what caninophobia would be, or even what catophobia could be. But when someone has a fear of something that's a living creature, and then they actually stop and start to do research on it and start to actually look at it as a creature and not as this bloodthirsty monster that seeks to end them with a single bite or scratch or any of that nonsense, it starts to become fascinating. And I will say, as it's probably already starting to become quite obvious, I'm becoming fascinated by jumping spiders. I've begun watching videos on YouTube on how to properly care for and feed for these little goobers. So I'm truly, truly hoping that I'll get to the point where I'll actually be able to allow it to like crawl across my skin, to just like let it out of its enclosure and let it jump on my hands and stuff like I used to do with bugs. Because I can still do that with most bugs. Granted, I don't do it often because, regretfully, 90% of the time I'll squish them because 90% of the time it's ants. And I don't know if you all know how it is, but when ants get into your house, they leave a trail leading other ants to, leading them into your house through whatever... Oh, sorry, I lost sight of it for a moment. There it is. But, they leave a trail that shows other ants how to get into your dwelling. And most of the time I just squish those. That was another bad incident I had when I was a child. We had, like, carpenter ants, and my stupid little kid self would pick them up and they would bite me. But they would get me, like, on the tips of my fingers and stuff, where for whatever reason it didn't really seem to hurt. So I'd just like pull them off, like I'd grab them by the little body while the pincers are like still embedded in my skin and just pull until the head came off, and it was not nice. It was not fun. But anyway, enough about that nonsense. So, ladies and gentlemen, as stated, y'all have until the 13th to help me come up with a name for this little creature. Just gonna carefully pick it up and bring it back into the camera view so y'all can get a nice little glimpse. At least a nice little glimpse of its underbelly. Let me see if I can turn this around so that y'all can get a look at its front a little bit. There it is. Personally, there are several names that came to mind because it has, I believe, only 1 or 2 dots along its body. I was thinking maybe Spot. But then I was thinking, spiders have fangs, so Fang might also be an interesting name to give the little goober. But with that said, I'm going to be actually attempting to put together a decent enclosure for this thing, getting like the coconut the shredded coconut dirt stuff to put in the bottom of the enclosure, getting a couple little fake plants put in there, a stick or 2 for it to crawl around on. So I'm going to try and give this thing a good life while it's in my care. I've tried, now that I think about it, I actually tried to do this similar thing last year. Unfortunately, the arachnid survived for a while, but then it had a bad molt and something happened. It lost several legs and died. It was just a bad time. So hopefully this year things go better. So with that said, ladies, gentlemen, boys, ghouls, and all other macabre manner of being, here comes a slideshow involving all the spiders and arachnids that I've caught over the last couple of years, and then I'll pop back in to end this thing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to say goodbye for the time being. Say goodbye, little one. Alright. Later. Oh, and yes, I did get a haircut. I told you to beware what the hat hides.